good morning. Well, no, that was 2 dollars. Did you guys get woken up by the storm? What is it? What? Did you get like the storm? You slept through it? You fell asleep to it? Okay. We had a 7th grader who decided to think that there was a tornado. His brother said there was a tornado, so he slept in our room. And he grinds his teeth and talks in his sleep. So I learned all about Legos last night, so it was great. It was fun. Well, good morning. This is our last habit that we are talking about this year. Next Busy Principle, which is in April. It's on April 5th. We'll summarize all of the 7 of them and tie them together and have some application that way. We'll also be at that time inviting the new members of the 2024-2025 team to join us. So it could be a large group. And that one, probably, we haven't really completely discussed, would probably be Chick-fil-A. Just as we started with Chick-fil-A, might as well, we're in with Chick-fil-A. So that would be in the day before this big event that's happening called So Fresh. JS and So Fresh. So I'm sorry, Seth, I just wanted to say that to see what they came this morning. All right, so we're going to jump right in. So the habit 7 is Sharpen the Saw, but a couple reminders. The book that we're going through, there are 7 habits that Covey wrote probably in the mid-'80s. And the whole idea of these are things that you can apply every single day in your life. So the idea of being proactive, putting the first things first, seek first to understand, think win-win. The other one is, I'm trying to think, keep the important things the important and not let everything else get in the way. But the idea of this is effective people do the right thing for the right reason and at the right time. It's not about, I'll do that right when I get older. Trust me, you don't do things right when you get older. Or I'll do that when I have a career. Now you're going to get busy with other things. These are habits that you need to be doing on a regular basis. And habits take hard work. My son this morning got up at 4. He wants to get in the habit of getting up early. 4 o'clock is not the hour we want him to. But he got up early and decided to run 3 miles at 4 o'clock, so we hear the door open at 4 o'clock. Okay, that's not going to become a habit in 1 to 2 days. That's going to be a habit in several weeks. Now, hopefully, we can change the 4 o'clock to like 6 o'clock, which would be a good time because that's when I normally get up anyway. So the idea of that is habits take hard work and they take time. And then also this book really encourages, which we will talk about today, is living by that 1% rule. The idea is that you're getting 1% better. So the topic today is how do we sharpen the saw? And what you mean by the story in the first part of the chapter of this one was really good. It's 2 people out cutting down some trees in the woods, and they just stop, and somebody stops them and goes, guys, if you sharpened your axe or if you sharpened your saw, this would go so much faster. And their comment was, we don't have time, we're so busy. How many times have you said that? I don't have time because I'm so busy. I don't have time to be proactive and think about the core values of what I believe and what I believe that God has laid on my heart of who I am. I don't have time to develop my priorities because I'm just too busy. Just think of the ludicrous statement that is you don't have time because you haven't done that. So the whole idea of sharpen the saw is, okay, you've heard these other 6 habits. Now, how do you take those habits and get 1% better every day? How do you get better at what you do? How do you get better at being proactive? How do you get better at believing the best in people? How do you get better in all these things? So the big idea today is get 1% better. And I wanted to bring it, I meant to bring it, but there is a license plate that we had built a long time ago or made a long time ago. It's bigger than a license plate that says own it, that we hang above our doors when you leave the office. And I have one in my office. And that's really what I came to conclusion with is if I'm going to get 1% better, I need to own it every day in everything I do. So we're going to walk through that. We're going to walk through what this depicts. So we're going to look at this in the next few minutes, and then we'll have a lot of time for questions because I don't have to leave to get my kids today because they don't have school. Open to change and growth, number one. So thinking about this, to be proactive, I need to be open to change. It doesn't mean that every day I'm changing my core beliefs, but I need to really be open to change and growth when I start to grow so that I can be more aware of who God is and more aware of who God created me to be. The older I get, the more I realize that I am a sinner and that I am evil and that I am selfish and that I have to be open to wrestle with that. So the idea of Patrick Lencioni said the best leader is a self-aware leader. So think about that. The best leader is somebody who is extremely self-aware. They're aware of their feelings, their thoughts. They're aware of other people. They're a self-aware leader. And how do you be open to change and growth? Well, I put two things down: self-assessment. So Caleb, Luke and I were talking yesterday about something, the idea of like, how do we assess where we are in our lives? And I don't think we do that well. We finish a job and we're like, oh, that was good. Let's go on to the next one. But have you ever stopped after a week and said, okay, God, how did this week go? Where did I rank? And I don't mean like against other people, but where did I rank in how I treated people? Where did I rank in how I was patient with people when things didn't go well? Where did I rank with my money and how I spent my money or my time? You know, self-assessment is really important. Goals are really important. It's important to set goals. So like Keegan, if his goal is to run every day, 4 o'clock still bad time. But if his goal is to run every day, maybe it's like, I'm going to get up 3 days a week, and that's good for the first couple of weeks, and I'm going to make sure that I run every day for 3 days a week. If that's a goal, okay, then that's going to happen. That's that I'm open to change. I'm willing to change. Same thing with money. You know, a lot of things right now, you're like, we don't have a lot of money. Why are you talking to us about money? When you leave college, the investments that you start now are really important, because if you're open to that and you're open to doing that, you start at 23, 24 when you get to be my age, which is a very young age. When you get to be my age, you're going to have some retirement there. And that's the whole idea, being open to change, being open to look at what has happened in your life, self-awareness, situational awareness, and being able to go, okay, did I handle that right? Or how can I fix that situation for next year? Every year we do that. Every year I'm starting to build the base camps for next year for my group. So JS's base camp is getting built for next year. Leaves is getting built for next year. SGA's marketing. And I'm looking at it and going, okay, what worked well this year and what didn't? And where am I open to change and growth? That's how I sharpen the saw. Number 2, wrestle with ideas and concepts. That's the thing that you don't know what you don't know. Get that through your head, all right? I'm talking to myself when I said that too. I don't know what I don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So the wrestle with ideas and concepts, you will always be a student. You will always be a learner. Be a traveler and realize that this is just a journey. So when you're traveling, I asked Ben a couple questions this morning about his favorite places that he's gone. When you're traveling to places, always have eyes to see and ears to hear things that you could do better. You know, wrestle with ideas and concepts. So when you have an idea and you're working on a project, you're like, I believe it should always be this way. You got to wrestle with that, because that's the only way that you stay open to change and growth. Because when you're not open to change and growth, it's probably because you haven't wrestled with it and you get so hard-headed and you cross your arms and you're like, I'm not ever going to change. It starts with the wrestling with ideas and concepts. Another one is the third one is never compromise your important. What's your true north? It's why you need to every day be in God's word. Every day. I don't care if you're a nurse, educator, marketing person, chemist. I don't care what profession God's going to bring you into. If you do not have your true north, that true north will get off kilter. There's an example of the Navy when they were going from San Diego to Honolulu, and they're using a compass. And the idea that if you use true north or magnetic north, I don't know which one is which, but whatever, there's one that is like accurate. I believe it's true north. It's always there. And you've got to always set your compass for that. And if you don't, the example is then you're going to end up 300 miles to the west of Honolulu and miss the Hawaiian Islands completely. Or if you're my son and you're flying airplanes and you don't set your altimeter to the right or where you are right now, you know that right now you're at about 1,000 feet above sea level. So if you go to your plane and you're like at 0 feet above the altimeter, like Keegan's underground right now. You know, the whole idea is you've got to set your altimeter so that it can regulate where you are. What's your true north? The Bible is your true north. You've got to have friends that are your true north. Who are those people in your life that are keeping, that's sharpening the saw. You will never think win-win if you don't have a true north, because it will change every single day based upon what you feel or what is the easiest way to do it. Sometimes the easiest way is not the right way. Sometimes the hard way is the right way, and you have to have that true north. Oh, sorry, went too far. The next one is involve others. You are called to be in a community with others. The idea is you have to do life with each other. Do you have a 2 a.m. friend? Do you have a friend that you can call at 2 a.m. when things go well and things don't go well? I have a few of those. One of those works at this school. His name is John Wamble. And that he is that 2 a.m. friend that no matter what happens, when I left being an RD and left for Cedarville for 2 months and moved to Virginia, he drove with us to Virginia to unload our truck. And then 2 months later, when I called him up and said, hey, by the way, we're coming back to Cedarville. You want to come back and help me move? He drove all the way back to Hillsville, Virginia, and helped us move. And that was a call at like 2 a.m. because I'm like, this guy's embezzling money, John. I don't know what to do. Should I take the job at Cedarville? And he's like, yeah, I'm coming to get you. We'll be there in a little bit. Do you have those 2 a.m. friends involving others in your life? Or you just try to handle it by yourself? Let me tell you, the older you get, when you start to have kids and you start to have relationships and you have other things going on in life, you need those people around you that are those 2 a.m. friends. And the world needs you to be a 2 a.m. friend. Sometimes you're going to be 2 a.m. friends to people that are Christians. Awesome. Be a great 2 a.m. friend. There's going to be a time that you're going to be a 2 a.m. friend to somebody who's not a believer, and you're going to be the love and hands and feet of Jesus when they call you or when you call them at 2 a.m. Oh. So involve others. And then total commitment. Have that mindset of doing nothing but getting 1% better all the time. So when I look at Own It, I look at Sharpen the Saw, and I look at, okay, how do I think win-win? All right, how do I be open to change and growth? Well, if I'm going to think win-win, that my ideas are important and this other person's ideas are important, if I'm going to be open to change and growth, then I've got to really stop and listen to the other person before I talk. If I'm going to wrestle with ideas and concepts when they talk, instead of sitting here going, I wonder what my response is going to be, I need to sit there and truly seek to understand them. If I'm going to never compromise the important, I've got to know what I believe and know what my standards are and know what I'm unwilling to compromise on. Unwilling to compromise on. If I'm going to involve others, I've got to be willing to listen again to them. If I'm trying to think win-win, maybe I look at them and go, look, we're not seeing eye to eye. What if we bring in so-and-so to help us mitigate this a little bit? Having those people to involve others. And the last one is total commitment. Am I really honestly seeking to win-win, or do I want to get out in the conversation and quit? Total commitment means I got to be able to give a lot of my time and be totally okay with the sacrifice that it's going to require. That's how you sharpen the saw. Trust me, there are times in my life that I've tried to do things because I've always done it that way, and it takes so much time, and I'm so tired, and if I would have just stopped and asked for help, it would have gone a lot quicker, or it would have been easier. The burden would have been lighter. What does Scripture say over and over again? Time and time again, there's story upon story again of people doing life with one another. That's how we can sharpen the saw as believers. So all the other habits are really important, but the idea of sharpening the saw is like, okay, how do I go in there and make it a little bit better so the next time I go to cut the tree, it's a little bit easier? But it's not a one-time thing and you're done. You're sharpening the saw every single day. So I really appreciate my pastor, and one of the prayers he has before, he says, before my feet hit the ground prayer. That's what he calls his prayer. Before my feet hit the ground, this is what he says. God, help me to see the things I need to see, hear the people I need to hear, and love the way I need to love. And when I heard that on Sunday, I'm like, that's sharpening the saw. Because I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what you're going through. You don't know what I'm going through. But if I have that heart to be open to change, wrestle with ideas, never compromise the important, involving other people in my life in total commitment, I can get 1% better. And that's the habits all tied into one.